If you do go on to enjoy today's video, do me a favour and hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel for more daily content. And if you need any coins for Ultimate Team to get a head start on the game, head to the link in the description, use the code TVM for a discount at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and it is time to review one of the season players. I have picked up Naby Keita on this account because, well, I'm a Liverpool fan and this is my Road to Glory account. I took him into champs, actually, brought him off the bench, and my word, was I would say pleasantly surprised. I kind of thought he'd be a decent player anyway because of the high dribbling, but yeah, not bad. Let's have a little look at him, shall we? 4-star, 4-star. He's got high attacking work rate, medium defensive. Not ideal for what I would want to play him as. Lean body type, which is nice. Traits to speak of, flair. That's quite literally it. I mean, you can do without that in this game. You don't really need the flair trait. Something else would have been a little bit better, a little bit. I mean, if they focus more on traits, they could be a real cool thing in the game. Maybe trait cards, so you can apply maybe one or two traits to a card. Maybe you play a certain number of games and unlocks another trait spot. It's kind of like Call of Duty and sort of, you know, ranking up your gun, essentially. You can add more attachments to it. How awesome would it be if you could, you know, not boost the cards in overall, and I know we can do them with chem styles, but maybe nerf chem styles. This is another video all entirely, but nerf chem styles, because at the moment you can take an 80 rated card and turn him into a 90 something rated card, meaning that, like, for example, with Varane, you can take him, put a shadow on him or whatever it is, bump him up to a mid 90s, and then you'll never need to change him for the rest of the game. Nerf chem styles, add traits and other things into the game to make us want to go and try different things. Maybe a certain player with 3 or 4 different attachments to him could actually be far more usable than what they are right now, for example. Anyway, sidetrack, let's get back. So, decent pace, 82 acceleration, 71 sprint speed, massive differential there. Not a big fan of cards that do that. His finishing is substandard, really. 79 finishing, 79 positioning, 78 long shots, 81 shot power, and the rest of it, let's just not talk about it. 91 short passing, which is very good. Vision's 85, which is decent. 81 long passing, could be better. Long passing, I believe, and I've been messing around with this a little bit more lately, it's not actually how far the ball travels, if that makes sense. So, well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's not a long raked ball. So when you play a ball from your own half and you sort of play a really long pass up and over the top, like an over the top through ball, yes, it does come into play with that. Of course it does. But it also counts as something that's not immediately in front of you. So playing a ball down the line, that's a long pass. So when you look at the long passing, normally I used to think, well, don't really care. I only play short passes anyway. But the more that I edit my gameplay and the more I realise, actually, I play a lot of balls down the line and a lot of over-the-top through balls and such. So maybe I will need to start focusing more on the long passing side of things when I apply chem styles. But the sort of massive point of this card, the selling point, if you will, not that you're going to be buying it, but the dribbling. 93 agility, 94 balance, 85 reactions, 92 ball control, 91 dribbling, 85 composure. That is the selling point. That's why, unless you're obviously if you're a Liverpool fan, you're probably going to take him anyway. If you're not a Liverpool fan, that is the selling point of the card. That is what you'll be looking at and thinking, that might be better for me than Iago Aspas or Romagnoli. Those two have got informs anyway that are either the same as or maybe a little bit worse off than what those cards are. So Naby Keita is probably going to be the one that everyone chooses. And not necessarily because you're going to use him. Because to be honest, if I wasn't a Liverpool fan and I wasn't doing a review, I wouldn't have touched him. He would have just stayed in my reserves because, I mean, I probably would have just picked the 86 because of the rating. But obviously as a Liverpool fan, I wanted to use him. I've put a shadow on him, as you would have seen already. And the reason for that is because I aim to play him as a secondary CDM or CM. He's got a high attacking work rate even though he's on stay back on attacking. I needed to improve that defensive side of his game. 92 interceptions is fantastic. Unfortunately, the rest of his defensive stats, even with plus 10s and plus 15s, are still high 70s, low 80s. So you can't really turn... Yeah, I suppose you could argue, well, why even try and play him there? Just admit the fact that you're not going to be able to use him as a secondary CM and just say, look, I'm going to have to use him as a cam if I want to use him. Let's give him, off the top of my head, let's give him an engine, for example, really boost up that short passing. Long passing goes up, vision goes up, crossing goes up, pace still gets a boost, and you still get a nice dribbling, agility and balance boost. Definitely an option there. What else could you do? I mean, Gladiator is not terrible, though. If you want him to be good in front of goal, but you also want him to be sort of fairly defence-minded. Anyway, enough about chem styles. You can do a lot with them. Like I said, I went with a Shadow, mainly because I was bringing him off the bench. I wasn't starting him in Champs. I was bringing him on for Blanc around half-time. There was one game, I think you would have seen the clips at the beginning of the set of clips, where I subbed him on literally in the first 5 minutes. My opponent pressed pause, and I thought, you know what? Now's the time. Let's just bring him on. Took Blanc off straight away, put Naby Keita in there, ran the game. Honestly, he was involved in everything, in both goals and in a little bit of interceptions here or there. Really, really fun card to use. And now I'm not saying he's going to be a replacement for anyone in your current team, but he does do a decent job. He does kind of remind me of a slightly taller Fred. I don't mean slightly taller in terms of like actual height, because for all I know they're both 5'8". I don't know, but in game he does feel a little bit taller than Kante. So if you can compare that to Fred, I just feel like, you know, because he can go forward, he can shoot if he needs to. It's not great, but he can if he needs to. He can defend, not as good as Fred, I don't think, but still. EA missed a trick not giving Fred a road to the final card, that's for damn sure. But I think if you're a Liverpool fan in particular, and I've said it already, but you definitely want to go for this. You can use him, you definitely can. You could put him into Rivals, no problem, and you could get away with playing him as a CM, secondary CM, CDM even if you really want to, or you can use him as a cam, stick the right cam style on him and you're laughing. You can get away with that sort of thing. I think the problem with these season objective cards is they're okay, and that's me using the term okay rather loosely. They're okay when the new season starts, but then by the time you can unlock them, they're so far behind what is now available in game. I mean, all you need to do is go into the SBC section of the game, and there's like 6 or 7 players in there right now because of freeze. 6 or 7 players in there that are better than this guy. Yeah, you got to pay to get them. They're not free like Naby Keita is just for progressing through the game. However, you can just go pick up an SBC card. There are so many Road to the Final cards that have just gone into packs that are better. Freeze cards that are equal or better. And some of them are like 30, 40k. There's just so many options in the game, especially for this position. It's a shame, really, that they didn't make all of the, not just Naby Keita, but all of the season objective cards 87 rated. A massive shame as well that they didn't even just make this 86, because the other two are 86 rated. Naby Keita as an 86. I think EA were thinking, he'll be too good. His dribbling will be too meta, and people will use him. Like that's a problem. Even if they made this card 90 rated, I don't think many people would have picked it up and gone, right, I need to rearrange my entire team to fit this guy in. I think people would have gone, oh, decent little super sub, don't mind if I do. What's wrong with that? Honestly, what is wrong with it? But at the end of the day, decent enough passing, feels quick enough with a Shadow, very good on the ball. I like the fact that he has the 4-star skills, and of course he has that high agility, high dribbling. I do really like him, but I think I'm probably just being biased. I would never play him over Blanc. I have Xavi as well, I'm not going to play him over him. And that road to the final, Atal, I'd probably play him over Naby Keita as well, maybe. So he's probably like my 4th choice centre mid right now. I don't know how many people are going to pick this up and use it. If you're a Liverpool fan, you won't be against it. You'll like it. You'll get on with it. If you're not a Liverpool fan, you might use it once or twice here or there, but that's probably about it. It's a shame because it does have the potential to be a really good card. I just think EA needed to boost it up to like an 87, 88 to make it like an option, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But there we go. Something for nothing, I suppose. If you have enjoyed this little player review, do me a favour and hit that like button. Let me know which player you chose or are going to choose in the comments. And until the next time, goodbye.
Join the Betting Rebellion and find out what your football knowledge is really worth.